Hey everybody, welcome to Review a Day, episode number 154. I am Leland Brungart. Thank you so much for being here. 500 days of summer review coming up in just a couple seconds here. But before that, I picked up Watchmen. I picked it up on Blu-ray, just came out yesterday. And I watched the director's cut of this flick, and a couple things came to me when I watched this the second time. This movie is a fucking mess. It is not a good movie. The dialogue is clunky a lot of the time. The costumes and the look of the film, it has the look of a fucking Bruckheimer Batman film. It looks hokey. I think a lot of the special effects aren't that great. There's a lot of gratuitous violence that does not work. I gave this movie a 4 out of 5 though, and I still stand by that review. There really isn't anything like this movie. We've never seen anything like this. It really is kind of a one-of-a-kind deal. I think someone will make a great Watchmen film someday. I don't know if it will even be Watchmen, but I think someone's going to take these themes and ideas and really make it work. I will say, though, about the film that the opening credit sequence to Bob Dylan's The Times They Are Changing, really, really great. I still really dig the Dr. Manhattan sequence, the origin story to him. The movie's a mess, though. It's not great. I would say read the book or even check out the motion comic. I think is more successful than this flick. Also, the director's cut, too long. I mean, I don't know. Did anyone see Watchmen in theaters and think it was too short? If so, the director's cut is for you. The flick I'm reviewing for you guys today is 500 Days of Summer, and this is a new film from director Mark Webb. I believe this is his feature-length debut. You might know his work from the Jesse McCartney Up Close documentary DVD. So Mark Webb, you know you're in good hands. The film stars Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and Zooey Deschanel. And this film is about Joseph Gordon-Levitt in the movie plays this guy who's been dating this girl named Summer. She dumps him, and he looks back over his 500 days with her in his life. Kind of told out of order, going from happy moments to sad moments. There's surreal sequences. There's a nice Ingmar Bergman Seventh Seal reference at the film. There's a musical sequence. So there's lots of fun stuff like that. What I'll say about 500 Days of Summer is that Mark Webb is clearly a music video director, and I really, really wanted to love this film. I was really looking forward to it. The problem is that you have to get through a pretty thick layer of cheese and sentimentality to get to the heart of this film. I think my sister said it best after the film. She said, "I'm sick of seeing movies about people who like Belle and Sebastian." This film is treading a lot of really similar ground. It's obsessed with music. It references Belle and Sebastian and the Shins, and it's got a really heavy soundtrack. And I like all the songs they're talking about. I like the artists that they have conversations about in the film. But I don't think that makes for interesting film, and I don't think it makes for interesting characters. And ultimately, one thing that left me incredibly cold about this film were the characterizations. And I think I liked this movie for as much as I did because of Joseph Gordon-Levitt. I think the kid can fucking act. Mysterious skin, brick. The kid is loaded with talent, and you watch this film. I'm calling him kid like he's younger than me, but he gives a really solid performance. However, I think the character he plays in the movie is a fucking pussy. There's a scene when he goes on a blind date throughout the movie when he and Summer aren't dating anymore, and she says something like, "Oh, she told you that she wasn't looking for a relationship. She was very upfront about it. What are you sad about?" And I felt that way a lot of the movie. Zooey Deschanel is cute in the movie. She looks like she should be in the 60s. She's got that indie, quirky vibe to her. I think her character's a little cold and kind of bitchy. I didn't totally dig her in this film. I was just kind of taken back by how much the film relies on music and stuff like that. I think once you take away the music references and kind of these sweeping conversations about love, I think you're left with a pretty cold movie that is by the numbers, a kind of funny romantic comedy. I don't like when any film comes out and says, "Hey, this isn't a romantic comedy. This is not a love story." It is, though. This is 100% a love story. It has a love story ending to it. Might not necessarily be with the main girl in the film, but this is definitely a pretty by-the-numbers type of film. It's hard to make a great film about relationships when you have so many great films. I mean, this is kind of and Annie Hall. And Annie Hall is one of my all-time favorite films, and 500 Days of Summer does not come close. It feels a little superficial and a little too cutesy at times. I fucking hated the very ending of this movie. When he meets someone at the end of this movie, it was too hokey and on the nose for me. The movie kind of rubbed me the wrong way. I think Joseph Gordon-Levitt is great. I think there's some funny moments in the film, but ultimately, this movie really, I don't think I don't think the film's very honest. I don't think it has a lot of insight into relationships and breaking up, which is really what I was looking for. I would much more recommend another Zooey Deschanel film, the David Gordon Green film, All the Real Girls, which I think is a much more honest, true film about relationships that doesn't have the gloss and the cool, hip, indie vibe that this flick does. I give 500 Days of Summer a 3 out of 5. I'd say wait for video. I ran up to Seattle and saw it and was a little bit disappointed. Look forward for my reviews of The Hurt Locker, I Love You, Beth Cooper, coming up in the next 2 days. If you like this video, make sure to rate and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.